You're listening to Comic Reflections, episode number 90. I'm your host, Nicholas Prom.
And I'm Jeff Arnott, one of our brave boys fighting the Axis Scourge.
Oh, yes. More of that in just a moment.
Right.
Comic Reflections is brought to you by rhymeswithgeek.com, and it's a real groovy site where you can find all the nerd stuff that you need. Podcasts, articles about comic books and video games and stuff. And you should check it out and go there and listen to this show and our others like Anti-Fanboy, Feed It Comics, and Super Podcast Magnifico. And man, I'm doing bad with this today, but it's okay. We're winging it. And speaking of winging it, let's talk about our first book today. It's Captain Aero Comics, number 22, published by Continental Magazines Incorporated. I'll get back to that in a sec. And this is a World War II era comic book. This is from 1945. Now, Continental Magazines Incorporated was one of a number of shell companies owned by Victor Fox, who had He had Fox Comics, and their biggest claim to fame was the Blue Beetle, the original Blue Beetle. Victor Fox was not a good businessman, but shrewd in a way. I mean, the reason he had several shell companies, including this and Holyoke, but they were all really under Fox Comics, is because during World War II, there were paper rations, and you could only get a certain amount of paper to print your comic books on. So if you have other companies, you can get more. And the Blue Beetle, which was his top seller, that was another one of those that sold 1 million copies every month. So, and Captain Aero bounced between several of those companies, including Holyoke. So yes, the lead story is Captain Aero in The Ghost of von Richthofen. And Captain Aero is this Air Force officer. He's not a superhero. He's just an enlisted man.
He's a super guy.
Just a super guy. He's got the Errol Flynn mustache, just so you know.
Oh, the splash panel has Captain Aero pretending to be von Richthofen.
Yeah.
He has goggles on. And the way in comics you show that something is made out of glass, usually you have like a window depicted there.
To show glare.
Yeah. And he has two big windows on his goggles, but he's in an airplane. Where are the windows from?
Right.
Okay.
So
doesn't look a thing like Richthofen, who's a fairly handsome guy, died when he was 27.
Oh, he's a real guy?
Richthofen?
Yeah.
It's a Red Baron.
Oh, from World War I.
Right.
Oh, okay. So, the art for this story is by a fellow named Rudy Pelaez, who was he was everywhere during the Golden Age. He worked for everybody, did a lot of different stuff. He did the Phantom Lady, he did Dr. Midnight, and he did tons of stuff. He was all over the place in the Golden Age of comics.
Yeah. It seems like the splash page was done differently from the rest of it, because splash page is done fairly well. Good depiction.
Yeah.
And the next panel we have is Hitler and his cronies, apparently in his basement, planning to bomb America.
I think they look very cartoony on purpose, because we want our heroes to look very realistic and rugged, and these villains to look subhuman.
Right.
This is a common tactic and trope that you'll see in Golden Age comics, especially during the war.
Right. Yeah, they're going to bomb New York. Like that's ever going to happen.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so the Japanese are there, and they have this idea to take a carrier, Okada, which did not exist, and hide it in the middle of the ocean. And so they start bombing America, and Captain Aero is with his Sky Scouts.
Yeah, I forget their names. We'll see more.
Bobby and Jimmy.
Captain Aero's Sky Scouts. Now this is another thing, getting kids involved in the war effort, and that's probably where the teen sidekick thing, exploded.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, Robin
was he before World War II?
Maybe, yeah, no, because I think Robin debuted in 1940.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, but...
World War II debuted in 1939. Or 1936, you can consider the Japanese invading China.
But we didn't get involved until after 1941, so...
Mm-hmm. December 7th.
Yes, a day that will live in infamy. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes. So anyway...
So they capture this German pilot.
Mm-hmm.
And something about the ghost of Richtofen will appear, so that's why you can't...
They have like a legend or something about this. Can a legend be only 20 years old?
I guess so.
Well, was it 20 or 30 years between the World Wars? 1914 to 1918, right?
All right. Yeah.
And then this is...
almost 50 years, I guess. So. 40 years, so yeah.
1918?
Yeah.
25, if it's 27 years, if this is 1945.
Yeah.
So anyway.
Okay. Well, the pilot tells about the ghost of Richtofen, and then he says, "Oh, I'm gonna kill myself." So there he goes.
Yeah. He jumps out the window.
Mm-hmm. So Captain Aero just says, "Well, why don't I become Richtofen?"
Yeah, he gets a full mock-up or like a facsimile of Richtofen's biplane and wears the costume to look like him, and he thinks he's going to trick the Germans somehow into what? I forgot.
Yeah, I don't know. It's doesn't look like his plane. I thought he rode a red plane, but this is checkered. Although some planes were checkered like this.
Yeah.
It does look like a correct plane. Well, no, it's incorrect. Oh well.
Yeah.
Someone didn't do their homework.
Well, it's not like this is Joe Kubert who would, go out of his way to do that well, or Russ Heath, or one of those guys, or John Severin. This is...
Yeah. All right, so he dresses himself up like the Baron, although the Baron didn't have a monocle.
Right.
And he wouldn't wear a monocle in an airplane. So
right.
He just wouldn't. So he comes down, lands on the carrier, says, "Hey, I'm the ghost of Richtofen. Take me to your leaders." And he fools the Germans, but the Japanese not fooled because the Germans believe anything. So,
wow.
Yeah.
So this was all planned to infiltrate them,
and he tricks them to flying, and then he shoots them down.
Okay. And
that's that.
Okay. So the next story in this is it's some notable stuff. We've got it's the if I could talk, Ms. Victory, who was a Golden Age superheroine, and she's real vavavoomie.
Yes, she is.
The story is Devils with Wings, and art by Nina Albright, one of the few women working in the comic book industry at this time. And Miss Victory is a character in the public domain, and she would be revived in the 80s in Bill Black's AC comic line as a part of the Femforce.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You're sort of familiar?
Yeah.
Yeah. They're not really good comics, but I appreciate Bill Black for reprinting
they're
lots.
Good girl comics.
That's what they are exactly, but they're just not very high quality comic book. No, but the AC comic line does reprint lots of wonderful Golden Age superhero and horror stuff, and westerns. I've got a pile of Best of the West from them, so that stuff is good. I just don't think Femforce is good comics. But it's cool that those characters are having a legacy and living on. So right on. So Ms. Victory, what's going on in this story?
Okay. Let's see. Colonel Kingsley wants to see her in a big hurry. She's got a cool airplane. And so she comes out dressed in civilian clothes. And I don't know why I can't figure out Colonel Kingsley know that she's Miss Victory or what.
I don't know. That's not clear to me either.
Yeah. So he shows us this huge picture. This is a carrier pigeon.
It's a huge, like I've never seen a pigeon before. Thanks.
Yeah, I never heard of carrier pigeons. Wow. So even though we have radios and all this stuff, we're still using carrier pigeons to get messages to and fro, and they did in World War II. But they're being eaten or destroyed.
Right, and so Ms. Victory stumbles upon this guy. He's using falcons
It's fairly clever.
Yeah, to kill all these birds so that they're not getting their messages through. And this guy's a Nazi or something.
I don't know. He's Garto, King of the Falcons.
Right.
I don't know what name. Garto sounds Italian.
And his plane looks like a falcon.
With
a beak and everything.
Does. It's hilarious.
I didn't notice until just now.
Yeah.
But
it's got eyes. And
but so...
The beak is supposed to turn.
The propeller,
it's it's propeller housing, and it's usually just totally round, but it looks like a beak here. But if I turn, the mouth will go round and round. So
it's a comic book. It's okay.
Yeah, okay.
So Miss Victory, she tracks down this guy in his bird-shaped plane, and figures out what's going on, and so she forces him to land, and they duke it out.
Yeah,
she beats him up.
Yeah, he doesn't get anything. He sends his falcon, 8 pigeons, and after her, and she beats up the bird and the guy, and takes him back, and he's in disgrace. And they bomb the falconry.
Wow. Yeah, her costume is really revealing too.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
I mean, very almost to her belly button.
Yeah, it's totally plunging neckline. It's enjoyable.
Nothing too good for our boys.
That's right. So yeah,
okay,
that's pretty fun. So the next story is about a superhero called Red Cross, and he's a medic. He's just a medic who wears a mask.
Yeah. Okay.
In a cowl. His costume looks kind of like Bucky from Captain America. Only he's got like this, this cap.
Oh, he's got an RX on his...
and a red cross on his forehead.
The RX from the...
prescription.
Prescription.
Yeah. But Red Cross, what's his story? Legend of the Officers and Men, or Legend to the Officers and Men. No credits on the writing artist. Who would take credit for a superhero who punches no one in this story? He doesn't even bayonet a single Jap.
Yeah.
Yeah, really disappointing. He saves people. How nice.
But the guy cannot draw clouds. He says, these clouds here, are they the smoke from burning?
Yeah, the clouds do look just like smoke.
Yeah, or something, and it's just, it doesn't look good. They got a down bomber. That looks pretty cool. Some interesting things going on. But
Red Cross, he's sent on this mission to what?
No, he's not sent. He volunteers. Somebody is shooting down a bunch of airplanes. No. I'm sorry. That's another one. All right. Here it is. We got a flyer who's knocked down, and they're worried that the Japanese will pick him up, so he goes and rescues him. And a submarine has seen the down bomber, and he's going to try to cap the Japanese submarine. And it's interesting that it's an amphibious plane, but you don't see any in the landing.
The landing gear or anything, yeah.
Until it's down in the water. So he rescues him, and here comes a sub. Okay, here's where it gets weird.
Okay.
So they bring Red Cross onto the sub, and the sub's commander is really sick. So they're going to bring him back to Red Cross's plane, which has a surgery in the hull, I guess.
Equipment, yeah.
Yeah, and so he brings back the guy who's in charge of the Japanese, and he shoots his men in the boat and makes Red Cross take him back to the aircraft carrier because he's surrendering. And which all armies talk about dying to last man or fighting to last man.
Yeah.
Japanese army is the only one who really did that all the time. And they have a like Tarawa, they had about 5,000 men on there on the island.
Yeah.
Only about 200 surrendered and stuff like that. And for Japanese to be surrendering, it's out of the ordinary. It's kind of evil looking with an evil laugh, and so he may be a spy, but they don't know. So I guess we'll see him again.
We won't. I don't think we'll ever get to see anything like this again. This is pretty obscure.
Yeah, I
But,
guess so.
hmm.
Let's see. A nice little page on the Kingfisher, which
Yeah,
is
just a one-page filler, art by
mhm,
Paul Parker. And yeah, it just talks about the Kingfisher, the amphibious aircraft, which was used in this previous story.
right.
Yeah, how fun.
Yeah.
Wait, are we
They're used on
learning something in
yeah,
here?
right.
What?
They're used
Okay.
on battleships.
Yeah.
Let's see. What do we have next?
Yeah.
Skyrider. He's
Yeah.
a two-gun. No, I guess he's two.
Yeah.
Two guns.
Yeah, Skyrider in Cowboy on the Wing. No credits for writing or artist, and I don't blame anybody.
Yeah.
This guy, he reminds me of a character that would come later, the Balloon Buster, who we read about before. Remember?
Yeah. So he wins. I don't know if you even know his name. It's Skyrider. And I don't think he has a real name.
Ultimately, it's not going to matter.
Okay, yeah. So he wins this rodeo, and then he gets drafted at the same time. So here we are. They're losing a bunch of airplanes for some reason, and Skyrider has his 6 guns, and he shoots at the planes out of the air and shoots them down.
Yeah, that's crap.
World War One, that actually happened.
Yeah.
Rarely, when the first time someone actually and
Yeah.
And there's a guy named Lieutenant Strange, and this is time they're just the very beginning. They're just observatory planes.
Yeah.
That's all they did, and they can bring a gun up there, and then he says, "Oh, I'll shoot somebody," and I think he actually shot somebody down. He also was flipped upside down. The plane flipped upside down, and he was knocked out of it, the cockpit, and was hanging, and by something, and he flew upside down for a long time. He had a lot of adventures.
Man.
So.
And I'd heard about that. Yeah, in a lot of World War II, it's like they didn't really have like machine guns mounted on the planes in the beginning, and they're like throwing sticks of dynamite or
bricks and I don't know, angry cats.
Right.
But the idea that. And
What's
it's
that?
possible that it's called a golden BB.
Right.
Just one shot will knock down your plane. It's possible, but it's very rare.
Right.
And I mean, these planes are getting hit by 50 caliber machine guns. A bullet, which is the entire case as long as your hand, and the bullet, the part that comes out of the gun, is as big as your thumb.
Right.
And you can hit by 100 times of one of those, and you still won't go down.
Right.
And the idea of a 6-gun shooting down planes regularly is absurd.
It is.
So
Yes.
he runs out. Okay, he's fighting Japs. He's
Doesn't that just feel good to say?
yes, it does.
You know.
I don't know. I don't want the Japanese mind being called Japs, or is this something we?
I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, I grew up with the word Jap. I didn't know it was bad, quote unquote, until later.
Yeah, it's just shortened.
Yeah.
That's I don't know. That's.
I think you can get away with it.
If it's the way you mean it, if you mean they're filthy Japs, that's bad.
Right.
If you're saying the Japs, because that's
yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Right. So he
Skyrider, or what is he?
Skyrider, yeah. He loses. He runs out of gas, lands on this island, and it's a air base hidden.
Mm-hmm.
So he's kept in confinement, and then he cleverly escapes by opening the curtain in front of his cell and knocking out the guard. That's all. For crying out loud. Then he hangs him up like a piece of meat, a side of beef, he says.
Yeah. Yeah, and they of course they have to make the Japanese guy look like he's just this little guy.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it's another one of those dehumanizing things that's used throughout all of this.
Right.
So
he beats up this guy, steals a Zero, shoots up the island. His machine gun's jammed, so he shoots it up with his 6 guns. And then he wins the war. He comes back.
He wins the whole war.
I guess so. He drops an A-bomb, too.
Does an A-bomb?
Yeah, I don't know.
No, you're kidding.
Yes, I am.
Okay.
How'd you know? and he comes back to his base, and they start shooting at him. And says, "Oh no! I forgot I was in a zero." And it's because everything's written in Japanese. So he takes his 6 guns out, shoots them, and says, "Oh, that's 2 gun or Skyrider." Blah blah blah. Okay.
So anyway, that's kind of lame.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a little better.
MTBs.
What is an MTB? Military training base?
No. Motor torpedo boat.
Oh, okay. So now we know what that is.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see if I have credits for this. Nope, no credits on this one at all.
I
So
did not look that up. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. So.
we'll just say that's what it is. So go ahead.
I cannot tell. Is this poorly drawn or well drawn? There's some flashes of genius in here, but really well done. A lot of it looks awful, and I'm really torn. I don't know.
And that's the way it is with Golden Age comics. You'll have great stuff and really crummy looking stuff.
Oh, the faces are awful.
Yeah. But remember, this is just a, hey, let's churn out stuff because anything will sell. You know, during the war, any comic book would sell, really.
Yeah.
You know, on some degree. Because, you know, everybody at home's reading them. Servicemen are eating them all up. It's a huge, huge business. So, yeah, a lot of times there's great quality, a lot of times there's crap. So,
yeah.
But it's interesting crap. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it is. I would not want to read this forever, but yeah, I enjoy it.
I mean, we tend to not talk a whole lot about Golden Age stuff. So here, I mean, these last couple episodes we've talked about quite a bit. So,
the Golden Age is only golden as, and that's for the comic book makers' pocketbooks and the amount of superheroes that came out.
Yeah.
I guess 90% of our superheroes today probably came out in the Golden Age. Well, maybe not.
I mean, there was so many superheroes, and yes, many of them were revived later, or new versions of them created later, like in the Silver Age and onward. I mean, geez, I think of like all the Golden Age characters that either were in the Justice Society or were properties that DC acquired later and reused, like the people. All the characters from Quality Comics, the Doll Man and Uncle Sam and the Freedom Fighters, Black Hawk, Plastic Man. Those are all.
Have you read an Uncle Sam yet?
We haven't. I don't know if we will. I mean, who knows? But
yeah. But they're interesting. I do like the scroll. They talk about what's going on, the introduction, and it's in a scroll.
Yeah, it's like there's like a piece of
really
parchment.
Nice, well done.
Yeah. So. But yeah, let's...
Okay, we have two... they never call them MTBs. They're PT boats after the title. No one ever says MTB.
Yeah.
And one guy is from a cruiser, and he says, PT boats suck.
Yeah, and his friend Pee-wee, who's a little guy. Of course.
Yeah. Oh, he could be a really big guy.
Right.
Yeah, that's the way it goes. Average guys would not be named Pee-wee.
You ever see like the huge guy and they name him Tiny?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I never have. Just in.
But in movies and stuff.
Yeah. So there was this Hanagoshi, which is this huge super dreadnought, and the Japanese did have them. They wouldn't name Hanagoshi. They sent them out to sink it, and they did. It's pretty easy. And the rest of the fleet comes after them, and they put the spotlights on them, which is kind of, you wouldn't think that warships would use spotlights, but they did in combat, and the Japanese did it very well.
Right.
And they just chew up the PT cruiser, but the PT boat.
PT cruiser, the car?
Oh God. He's a cruiser sailor. So, and they get shot up like crap, but they sink the ships. Does Pee-wee get it? I think.
Yeah, I think. Does he get killed?
No, he gets injured.
Right.
But they sink, PT boats. I almost said cruiser again. They did well. They have sunk ships and all this stuff, but it's not that easy. Usually they get shot up. And the navies got guns, especially built to destroy PT boats.
Right.
And but the guy says, "Oh, I'm strictly PT. I don't want any more cruisers." So,
We got another one-page filler about the Corsair. Art again by Paul Parker, and pretty cool.
It is cool. It had a really massive engine and gold wings. Pretty neat. It's just oddly written, though.
Yeah. So the next story we've got to talk about, this is interesting. Okay.
Is it?
I thought, for me, this was like the highlight of the issue.
Yeah.
I thought it was somewhat noteworthy. Let me get my notes. It's the Mighty Might in the Ring of Gazuka. Now, I know, silly. This is the introduction to a character that would have a few more appearances. This is like kind of, there's, I think, a handful more issues of this series, and then, whatever. But art by John Giunta, who worked on a lot of different things later in comics. He did some work on the Thunder Agents for Tower. He worked on The Fly for for Archie Comics. He worked on Witch's Tales for Harvey and the early Phantom Stranger stuff at DC. So he, a noteworthy career in comics. And this is an interesting, it's kind of a Captain Marvel.
Very similar to that. Not a bad style. Well drawn.
Yeah, I like the art. It was really charming.
Yeah. All right. So, Mighty Might. They're just Mickey, wimpy kid.
Yeah.
He can't play any reindeer games because he's such a wimp.
Pretty much. That's the basic premise. Very nice.
Okay. So,
he gets visited by a fairy godmother or something.
Named Princess Make-A-Wish.
Wasn't that nice?
Yeah. Really well drawn.
Yeah.
Really pretty. The entire. Oh, she has butterfly wings. It's gorgeous. Yeah. Absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah.
So he said, "You'll get a wish." I don't know why he gets a wish. Where's my wish? So he wishes for a big brother who will come and help him out, which is one of the most odd things I've ever heard of in my life.
But the almost thing is sound. But see, it kind of rings true. It almost sounds like a wish a child would make.
Maybe so.
So,
I love the big brother. He is big. He's got a 5 o'clock shadow. He's burly.
Yeah.
This is great.
And he's a superhero, basically. And he's Gazuka, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So she gives him this ring, and if he touches it or rubs the ring, Gazuka shows up, and he's invisible to everybody but him. So it kind of works like his shadow. He touches the ring, and he gets this cool costume that becomes the Mighty Might. And he and Gazuka have the same costume. But nobody sees him, and so when he punches a guy...
I was trying to think, do they not see that guy?
They don't.
Okay.
So it's kind of funny. But anyway.
Yeah. All right, these criminals in town. There's this airplane show.
Like a model airplane show.
Airplane show. And, he wasn't able to go, so that made him sad. So, he's going to go because he didn't have a model airplane.
Right. Now he's just like...
How sad is that?
Yeah.
So the thing is, you can build a model airplane and then make a life-size replica and fly it, which is, wow. That's pretty intense. That's something you'd ask grad students to do.
Right?
Oh, so these guys... these bad guys come and stick it up because there's a nice silver trophy.
Yeah, and they're like, hey, cool, we'll steal that and hawk it.
And there's this little girl there, and she's sassing them back.
And so one of them slaps her around.
Right. So, Mighty Might, he goes underneath the window at the building that's just all going on. He hears what's going on, so he rubs his ring, and here comes Gazuka, and they beat the crap out of the guys.
Yeah.
And the little girl really likes Mighty Might.
I love that he punches these guys, but the power is from this invisible superhero that's like his big brother. I love it.
Really cool drawn. And she looks like Princess Make-A-Wish.
Yeah, and the girl is just cute. She's real cute.
And she's sassy, too.
Yeah.
So,
but sweet to him, which is nice.
Yeah, well,
he's
like, the bad guy.
And I love it. Mickey, he's like, oh, I'm in the model airplane club, and I have a girlfriend. Plus, I'm sort of a superhero. Neat, you know.
And he dreams of American history.
Yeah.
Oh no, some European history too.
Yeah. So
pretty cool.
Anyway, this is the first of I think several adventures that would take place in Captain Aero Comics of Gazuka and Mighty Might. I think we've got one more story in this story. Yes, it's Captain Aero's Sky Scouts in The Mail Gets Through. Art by Rudy Pelaez, who illustrated the lead story, Captain Aero.
The Sky Scouts are gliding, which is interesting. And they see a mail plane, which used to be the mail plane, was kind of what made airplanes big, was the mail service.
Right.
In the 30s and 20s, 30s, and 40s, and it became old hat. So the mail plane crashes, so they take a glider, and these antitoxins go into this army camp, and so they land the glider, help the guy out, get with the antitoxins, launch the plane, the glider, off the cliff, and they deliver the antitoxins, and that's it.
Yep. Oh, man.
Yeah.
So, what are your overall thoughts of that comic book?
I don't know. It's I think you're right. Mighty Might is okay. It's sort of.
I wouldn't want to read this kind of stuff every day.
No.
But it's something important to talk about.
Yeah.
So, but let's talk about something I know Jeff is going to have fun with. Superman.
Yeah.
Yes. Superman number 238. The lead story is Menace at 1,000 Degrees, written by Denny O'Neil, with art by Kurt Swan and Murphy Anderson.
Yeah. I had read a Greatest Hits of Superman compilation, and one of the stories was he loses his allergy or whatever to kryptonite. And this guy, and these bad guys give him got some kryptonite, and he says, and he eats it, and it tastes good.
Needs some salt. Yeah, this is that period.
Yeah.
That story was called Kryptonite No More.
And that story,
all the kryptonite on Earth was turned to iron.
Or something. Yeah. Okay. You saw there was a figure in the sand in the beach. That looked like Superman, and then it was walked off. So, well, what happened to this? So I never read any of the
subsequent parts of that.
Right. So
that is an ongoing arc for a while, and we are reading 2 other parts of that today.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So he's a TV reporter, and finds out that modern pirates, which are they doing today off the Sudan.
Oh, sure. But yeah, this is the Superman, or Clark is the newscaster at GBS television. Perry and Jimmy and Lois become really kind of like, they're further in the background supporting, and then we have Morgan Edge, and then Steve Jerkface, the prankster.
Yeah.
Or not the...
I like those 2 characters, but I wish they'd kept the others around more. So. Yeah.
And that's the guy. I don't want to say the guy is the prankster because that's the name of a villain. But Steve, I can't remember his name. Steve something. He's a sportscaster.
Steve Garvey. Okay. PT boats. Hey, here they are back again. He goes right. They're trying to attack this ship, and he puts a hole in one, and he gets hit by a torpedo and almost knocks him out because he's weakened by his fight with the Sand Superman. Or whatever this.
Yeah, we don't know. It's this other entity or something. So anyway.
So they find out it was a ruse to keep them from keep attention away from Operation Magma, which is a way to drill down to the magma, which is inside of the Earth, and allow the heat to produce power. I would think they should keep it better guarded. A bunch of pirates can take over. Alright, so Superman finds out. He comes to the drill, and they find him, so they use a magma hose, and they shoot magma at him, and it's super hot, and
I think that's so cool to have a magma cannon.
Yeah, that is neat.
And Superman is feeling weak because of that other thing has taken away a lot of his power.
Yeah. So he goes in the water and solidifies, and he struggles and gets himself out.
Steve Lombard is the guy I was trying to remember.
Oh.
Yeah, but anyway. So Superman
Meet Sandy. Whatever his
the other.
What is he called?
The other being. I don't. It's not really given a name.
The Man of Sand. I don't know. Alright. There's this guy named Quig, which I wonder is a takeoff on Queeg, which is the captain of the Cane Mutiny.
Oh, probably. Yeah.
But it's a totally... Queeg was a decent man who was promoted beyond his abilities, and Quig is just an apple. So he takes over Operation Magma, and he demands $10 million, 50 hostages, and a hydrogen bomb.
Yeah.
And I guess because Superman's here, there is no armies or navies anymore. Although the Operation Magma, he can mess it up and blow up everything. So, blow up the world. The world will be destroyed if he messes around with the drill.
Right.
So, which brings us to the question: why wasn't it better guarded?
Right. But then again, if it was better guarded, we wouldn't have
a story.
So
Lois goes with the hostages.
Yeah.
And as does Clark.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, well drawn. I like drawing.
Yeah, Kurt Swan and Murphy Anderson. It's a good team. Mm-hmm. People were really fond of that.
The writing is kind of bad.
Yeah.
I mean,
Denny O'Neil is sometimes really great on certain things, but like his 70s stuff on, say, Superman or Wonder Woman is not my favorite of his work.
Yeah, she tells an awful joke, and they really think it's funny.
Of course.
So, and while they're laughing, she grabs a gun and says, "Well, why don't you go ahead and shoot me?" And she decides she can't shoot. So, and then now they're going to kill her.
Because she's gutless. No.
Maybe so.
I don't know.
This is the time that the guy who's going to destroy the world, this is the guy who needs to be shot.
Right. And
shoot his hand. That's what the two-gun kid would do.
That's right. Or Roy Rogers.
Yeah.
I was kidding when I said she was gutless, but yeah, I mean, like, there's an appropriate time to say, okay, I'm going to shoot this person,
right.
And this is it.
So here comes Superman, and
yay!
He's kind of ticked off at Lois for blowing his scheme,
right?
But he's beating the crap out of everybody. But Quig releases a hydrogen bomb to the ocean, and when that happens, it's going to blow up everything.
Oh man!
So Superman goes on, grabs a hydrogen bomb, throws it up in the air, and beats up Quig.
All right.
It saves a hydrogen bomb, and all right, that's about it.
Okay, let's see. We got a backup story. This is part of the Fabulous World of Krypton series of stories. Carrie Bates wrote it, and beautiful art by Gray Morrow, who did a lot of stuff for.
Indeed, this is beautiful.
Who did a lot of great stuff over at Warren, doing covers and interior stories. And the story is. A Name is Born. Now, and this is about how the planet Krypton got its name.
Krypton was covered with cocoon, a wispy crimson cocoon.
Yeah.
So the cocoon opens up, so they send, I don't know who, somebody sends a scout ship, and then the scout, and there's another scout ship there that's damaged. The guy there beforehand says, "Oh, I'll ask this person if they can help me out." They don't speak the same language, which is one of those Hollywood comic book. Everyone can speak the same language. It just makes it easier. Do we really want someone to interpret and drag down the story?
I get it.
So, but they make the language difficulty part of the story.
Yeah. This is really well done.
Yeah, it is. They're trying to talk to each other. The first guy gives a flower, and the atmosphere makes the flower explode and almost kills the guy. So the second guy thinks he's being attacked. So they start fighting, and they destroy. The second guy destroys the first spaceship. And then they a nice fisticuffs.
Yeah.
something's falling down. What in the world? Some kind of what is it? It's something gooey from the atmosphere is coming down. So the first guy knocks the other guy out of the way, so both of them won't die.
Okay.
And he's stuck in there. The second guy says, "Hey, was I spared?" So, well, I'll find out. I'll get him out, and if he kills me, then I know I'm wrong. So, and he gets the second guy out, the first guy out, and they start thinking, no, and everybody's happy.
Right. Now they're both marooned on this planet.
Right. You could not see. You could see the first guy, the second guy, excuse me, and he's a guy. You couldn't see the first one. And I kind of suspected the big reveal.
Yeah.
And she's a pretty girl.
Yeah, and the guy's name is Crip, and her name is Ton.
Mm-hmm.
And so this is how Krypton was kind of born.
She kind of looks like Lana Lang, but with not red hair.
A bit, yeah. But pretty cool story.
Yeah, it was really, really good.
Yeah. I remember reading that in one of those best of DC, digests in the 80s, the Blue Ribbon Digest. But it's nice to see it in the full page. So our next book is Superman number 242, and the story is The Ultimate Battle, written by Denny O'Neil, and art by Kurt Swan and Murphy Anderson.
When I read that, it says, Ultimate Battle? Really? And then, I guess it is.
It's a pretty good battle.
Right. So, we have Superman beaten up by a Chinese statue and a couple of bums.
Yeah.
Really?
Wow, I know.
He's kind of weakened, and the statue beats him up. And then...
these bums, they control it somehow.
Yeah, they beat the crap out of him.
Yeah.
And then, the statue comes and bums says, I am confused. Says, they'll take control of you. So they go around, and the first thing they do is attack a museum. I would think they'd go out for smokes and booze.
Right.
But they're in Manhattan, and...
Is it Manhattan or are they in Metropolis?
No.
Oh,
they are in Manhattan.
Oh, yes. Okay,
and
okay.
So Superman's laying there, and who comes up?
Oh, it's Jimmy Olsen.
And he's supposed to do a story on Manhattan's junk problem. Although, is any junk in Manhattan, isn't it shipped off to somewhere else, and it's someone else's problem?
I guess. I don't know.
I cannot believe the most expensive place on Earth, maybe on Earth, it has a junkyard.
Right.
And you can't hardly afford to have gas stations. So he sees Superman lying there. Good thing he came.
Right?
Yeah.
How convenient that Jimmy would happen to be there.
So they go to the hospital. And here so the bad guys start destroying a museum. And then here comes Sandy Superman.
Yeah, the Superman double that's not quite a real person. And also in this story are the depowered Wonder Woman and her mentor, I Ching.
Are you? I'll be dang.
You didn't pick up on that's who that was, huh?
I didn't know who I Ching was. I didn't see. Okay.
Yeah. That's the only other Diana in DC Comics, so.
Okay.
But yeah.
All right. So the bad guy, the two bums, want the statue to go kill Superman.
It should be noted Denny O'Neil was writing Wonder Woman also at this time, so it's fitting that he would cross them over. So.
Yeah. They asked the statue to get him a newspaper. He picks up the whole newspaper stand. And, wow, Superman is weak and helpless. Let's go kill him. Why not beef up your bank account or something,
Yeah, these guys, there's a reason they've already lost in life. Because they're not bright, so...
Yeah.
Come on, a couple of winos control a magic statue. Think about it. They're not going to be like criminal masterminds. So.
Yeah.
Then the statue realizes he doesn't need these guys and he kills them.
No, he just beats them up, I think.
Usually when the figures turn black, that means they're dead.
Really?
Yeah. And then you see their feet. Yeah. That's pretty classic. Yeah.
Oh, I did not know this. Okay, that's
Okay.
cool. Well, also the Ecclesiastes. How can you pronounce Ecclesiastes or how do you pronounce
Ecclesiastes is a
Sorry.
quote from the Bible
Mhm.
here.
Neither shall wickedness deliver those that are given to it.
Yeah.
But the guy comes. Um, okay, Diana is most fetching in her short skirt and knee-high boots.
Right. Her classic costume is not to be found in this period.
Yeah.
And she's got no power. She's just martial arts and now.
The statue's coming in, and well, she's in a judo stance, and Jimmy's in a boxing stance, and it doesn't do any good.
Yeah, so the monster makes pretty short work of Jimmy and Diana. And then Superman wakes up and starts fighting.
Right. No, not a bad fight. And then here comes Sandy.
Right. And Superman and his duplicate, they go to the moon or someplace and talk, they're just in a park. And it's like, look, I need your help. Will you help me, please? And the sand thing says no.
I want to be Superman, so you must die. So they're about to fight, and here comes I Ching.
I Ching, yeah.
Is it
I Ching?
Is it I Ching?
Yeah.
Huh. I thought it was pronounced E, but
I could be wrong. But
okay, probably R.
Aren't I?
Now he says, let's see, if your fight, the fatal explosion would occur. So let me fix it so you can fight. So he fixes it, so they fight, and it's a.
What does he do? Like something magic or something?
I guess so. A few gestures.
So was the statue gone already? Is it destroyed or beat?
Disappeared. Yeah.
Okay.
So they got some of his energy back. Some of his energy was into the statue.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, these superhero comic books. God, so he goes into the ocean, goes into the in the ground, and he swings back up, and Sandy follows him in the ground and comes back up, and then Superman bashes him while he's not thinking about it. So.
Right.
But
it's
going
great.
to the ground causes the world to disintegrate, and we have some really cool scenes of the world burning and skyscrapers and
bridges collapsing and roads opening up.
Sinking.
Yeah. And Superman's really distraught because the world has been destroyed. He cries.
Yeah, then I Ching says, "Oh, it never happened. There was a trance."
Oh yeah.
So Sandy decides to leave and goes into the world where the statue went. And what else? He said, "Do you want my powers?" And Superman says, "No, I don't want to be too powerful. That brings more trouble than it's worth. It's too much of a."
Yeah.
I don't know. So.
Meh.
Yeah. Okay.
It's not the greatest period for Superman.
No, it's not. But here we come.
Okay, we do have a classic backup story, a reprint, and the story is The Girl Who Didn't Believe in Superman, and it's reprinted from Superman number 96. It's written by Bill Finger. Yay! With art, it's penciled by Wayne Boring and inked by Stan Kay.
All right. This girl. Okay, there's a Miss Lovely contest with the little girls, and which is the prettiest little girl, and Lois and
the prize is to meet Superman and get
a sightseeing contest.
Yeah.
So they choose this one girl that came up, and she's blind, and which is kind of cool that they didn't tell, because my girl's blind, so to get
sympathy or whatever,
and win the contest. But this girl, since she cannot see anything, believes Superman is fake.
Right.
Because, that's the really logical thing to do.
Right. It's like, yeah, right. There's a Superman.
Yeah.
So
he takes her up flying to prove, he really takes off Superman. So he's going to prove that he's. So he takes her flying. Says, "Oh, this is from a helicopter." He uses telescopic vision to tell what her mother's doing. He says, "Oh, everyone knows that. You just ask around." He takes this dog, this metal dog. I hope it's metal.
Yeah, and he stretches
it, and it heats up, and And she says, "Oh, you're faking that. You just put a burner on it."
Right, because,
So,
yeah. So,
Superman uses his X-ray vision, which is better than anyone else's X-ray vision because,
right.
well,
Because he's Superman.
Yeah, and he can see glass. There's a glass and an optic nerve.
Yeah.
So this is, well, we need to do a surgery on her. Well, we cannot see it because we don't have X-ray vision. So Superman learns how to be a doctor, and then what is it? In a few moments.
Yeah, because he can do that.
Mm-hmm.
He can just read all these books real quick, and he can learn. So he performs super surgery.
This is my favorite part. The intercom goes off, says, "Calling Dr. Superman, calling Dr. Superman. We are waiting in surgery." So I guess, did he get his degree too?
I don't know.
Yes, but,
It would have to be honorary because he doesn't have like legal status as Superman, you know?
I thought he did. The IRS thought so.
Ah, yes. Remember we read that story?
Yeah, which is cool.
Where Superman owes $1 billion or something like that. But yeah, I don't know. I don't see any PhDs on the wall of the Fortress of Solitude.
He could get one.
I'm sure.
Hey, he could write one out. All he has to do,
He could commit acts of super forgery. No,
he could.
I'm kidding.
Because he's a super typist and he's super knowledgeable, and probably the stuff he knows in the Fortress of Solitude is far beyond what we know.
Sure.
So I mean, it'd be pretty easy, and he should have honorary degrees out the yin yang.
Yeah, you would think. It's funny we don't really delve into that very much, but
I would do something cool though.
So he cures the little girl's blindness,
and she's happy, and she believes there's Superman now.
Yay! And her father, who was a drunk and derelict, decides to come back and be a real man again.
Yeah, Superman thinks he's a crook. He calls him Snoopy. But he thinks the way she got injured and blinded, it was in a car wreck. Her father was driving.
He blamed himself, and he left the family out of shame or something.
Mm-hmm.
And like, what a bum though. I mean, like he left his wife to take care of a child, and all by herself.
I can see that. Okay, yeah. It's nice. So everybody's happy.
Yay! So they get to be a family again. And
Superman, yeah, right. And Superman, yes, Lois, and nothing I've ever done before has made me so glad that I really am a Superman.
Yay!
Oh, that was pretty cool.
Yeah. So we've got another backup story, another Silver Age reprint. It's called The World's Mightiest Weakling. It's reprinted from Strange Adventures, number 54. Written by Otto Binder, so you know it's good.
Mm-hmm.
And with art penciled by Carmine Infantino, inked by Bernard Sachs. So, yeah. Classic.
Mm-hmm. And this is kind of takeoff on those famous ads about the weakling and all that stuff.
Oh, sure. All the Charles Atlas ads. Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally.
So this guy is super skinny, and he's picked up by this guy and thrown around. And he eats 5 times a day. He cannot get bigger.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so he meets his Professor Milton, and Professor Milton uses electricity to make him heavy. And he gains 150 pounds, and then he gains 300, and now he's up to 1,000.
Yeah.
So then he goes to the bad guy, Brad, says, "Oh, try throwing me around," and he can't even pick him up.
Right.
And he tosses him in the air like. So here we remember the beginning of Spider-Man, the origin story. He becomes a wrestler, and here, this guy.
Yeah, it's similar.
Yeah. Proceeds is misspelled with 2 R's. I'll be darned. Okay, it's interesting to see a typo.
Yeah, they happen.
Mm-hmm.
I catch them sometimes.
Yeah.
So
he gets heavier and heavier, and he has 100 men against him in a tug of war. The Mighty Weakling. It's pretty cool. And then because he's got a girlfriend, which I forgot to mention.
Oh yeah.
And she likes him even though he's a wimp.
Huh.
So that must be some hell of a girl.
Right?
She finds out that
maybe she's dumb. No, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, that makes her one hell of a girl.
Yeah.
No, I don't like. I find the dumb girl thing amusing for about 5 minutes.
No, totally. You want to be with somebody you can have a conversation with. I understand. These are the jokes.
So, Rod, which is the weakling's name, girlfriend, Wilma, he's nice. And she's pretty nice looking. And she finds out that it's all medical science type thing. So
Right.
she's kind of ticked off at him. So he's going to go through this boxing match anyway.
Mm-hmm.
And he fights this guy and wears him out and wins. But finds out that the scientist as well, it didn't work last time. So it was all you.
So yay. So
now Wilma likes him, and that's about it.
okay, and that's all our comics for this episode too.
Mm-hmm.
Want to take a look at what we've got for next week? Oh, did you have any other thoughts on that stuff?
Let's all keep buying more and more war bonds. We don't want this war to last too long.
Yeah, right. All right, so let's take a look at our comics for next week. Jeff is chomping at the bit.
Yes. Mad Dog Cole, the Mad Gunman.
That's right.
He's so mad he's mentioned twice.
That's right. From Crime Does Not Pay, number 119. Okay.
All right, Rawhide Kid, the Enforcers.
Yeah, so that's going to be Mighty Marvel Western number... hang on. 11.
Yeah. Behold, a flaming star. Aye, it's a demon of darkness.
From Knight Rider number 6.
Giant Superman.
That's right, we've got a Superman 80-page giant. That will be an entire episode.
Excellent.
Yes, Jeff pleased.
Yeah.
All right, anything else? Any other business? All right, just want to remind our listeners that Comic Reflections is a proud member of the Rhymes with Geek podcast network. You can find us and all kinds of other cool nerd junk at rhymeswithgeek.com.